Lazav, the Multifarious, versus Glissa, the Traitor. We have no black in hand, but hopefully we'll keep it. After the game I just had, if we don't draw into lands, that would be a real smack in the face. Just played against Breyer, and the number of lands we drew into, we had Dark Confident on the field. I don't know if I've uploaded the game at this point, but yeah, and there we go, we get into a land. Very reminiscent of last game. We'll go into... What do we want to go into? I think we can just hold up Vampiric Tutor here, actually. Because then if we go into our Buried Alive... Yeah, we're going to Buried Alive. We can play the Sol Ring and the Buried Alive next turn. Try and get something going then. And our opponent goes for a Sakura Tribe Elder, so we will go for our Buried Alive, and we'll see if we can get anything going here. Okay, so we do of course draw into the Buried Alive that we just put on top, and we'll go in for a Miramad Phantasm, and I'm not sure what else we want. Maybe Necropotence. Not Necropotence. I keep calling Necrotic Ooze Necropotence. If that's what I say, then forgive me. That's not what I mean. Yeah, we'll go Miramad Phantasm and Invisible Stalker and Necrotic Ooze. Trying to get a win off with the Miramad Phantasm and the Laboratory Maniac, and after this recording session I've been banging on about it for long enough, and if I don't get a win off with it during this game, then I'm not going to bother with it anymore. I'm actually going to just rip it out of the deck and find some other cool combos to try and show you all. I have a lot of recordings to do for this channel, so spending too much time on one deck isn't conducive to a happy experience for me. Let's go over Glissa the Traitor. It is a 3/3 for 3 mana in Golgari. It has the lethal combination of First Strike and Death Touch. And whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you can return an artifact from your graveyard to your hand. And Lazav the Multifarious is a 1/3 for 2 mana in Dimir. And whenever it enters the battlefield, surveil 1. And then you can pay X to have it become a copy of a creature in your graveyard, where X is the CMC of the creature. It stays legendary and it keeps that ability. So we of course want to load up our graveyard and get some cool stuff going. Just opt to swing in with Sakura Tribe Elder, and they don't sack it for a land. In that case, why don't we go for our Lazav the Multifarious, and then we'll drop a land. Yeah, we can go for a land and go for Ancestral Vision. Do we want a Chrome Mox? I think that will help us. I just want to double check. That's the one. Exile a card from your hand. I always get the 2 Moxes confused. One of them is discard a land from your hand. And there we go. We'll get the Ancestral Vision down. If they go for something on Lazav, then we can of course turn it into an Invisible Stalker. And actually, I think I should have, whilst our opponent was tapped out, I should have gone for Invisible Stalker at the end of our turn. So that's mistake number 1, I think. But we'll be going for Miramad Phantasm next turn anyway. Possibly. Or Necrotic Ooze. Yeah, I think we need a lot more mana before we go for it yet. I need to work out exactly how much mana we need, actually. Yeah, I think we go for Invisible Stalker now. And then we hold up Lazav until the end of our opponent's next turn yet again. No, not Mirror-Mad Phantasm. We want the Invisible Stalker, which is 2 mana, hexproof, and is unblockable. And hopefully our opponent doesn't have spot removal here. Otherwise I will... should have done it at the end of our opponent's turn. Well, we do at least get some lands out of it. That does shuffle the mocks away, but this means that we get another mana and should have gone for Swamp there. Yeah, need to slow down. Keep making mistakes. We'll go for Lazav again then. And yeah, we can just get into the Invisible Stalker straight away, which is what we should have done last turn. Mesmeric Orb. I think we will keep. We'll go for Ancient Tomb. And we'll copy the Invisible Stalker now, which is what we should have done last turn. So we at least got an Assassin's Trophy out of our opponent's hand, but that of course wasn't the intention. We would be a turn further along now if it wasn't for my mistake there. So now we want 1, 2, 3, 4 into Necrotic Ooze. Then we want to crack the Necrotic Ooze for 2 off the Mirror-Mad Phantasm ability. Let me make sure I'm getting this right. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we would have 1, 2, 3, 4 mana held up. Yeah, we're working a few turns behind here. We just have to let our opponent do whatever our opponent's doing. Luckily they're not getting off to too fast a start on us. And should have a couple more counters. Yep, we've got a couple of counters left on the Ancestral Vision. We can go for a Glimpse the Unthinkable. I think that's safe. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I am just going to play it safe here, I think. Yeah, we are just going to play it safe. Our opponent might have more spot removal. So I'm going to keep Lazav as it is. At the end of our opponent's turn, we're going to turn it into a Necrotic Ooze. And then if our opponent tries to remove it, we can turn it back into an Invisible Stalker if we want to. And actually, I'm just thinking, in order to get the combo off that I want, we actually need a land in order to get the Bloodghast out of our graveyard so that we can sacrifice it to the Dread Return. Yeah. So we're pretty reliant on getting a land next turn, which, sod's law, after our last game, we're probably not going to draw into anywhere near as many lands as we did last game. We'll soon find out. Our opponent has no mana up. That doesn't mean that they don't have a snuff out or something like that, but yeah, we can just... We'll go into the Necrotic Ooze as planned. And then, yeah, we're one counter off. Yeah, and unfortunately we still don't get into that. Well, we actually want to Deep Analysis anyway, because we need that in our graveyard so that it's cheaper to draw cards with the Laboratory Maniac. Yeah. Pretty sketchy game so far. I've never actually played this combo out before like this, so if we go Entomb, yeah, we can hold up Entomb. I think we'll just pass the turn like that, and then if we need to turn Lazav into the Invisible Stalker, then so be it. We're holding on to the land just in case we don't draw into one next turn. We can try and get a win off next turn if I've worked this all out correctly, and if our opponent doesn't go in for spot removal on us, which in Golgari there's every chance they will. They're probably going to sacrifice their vampire to get another creature in hand and to draw a couple of cards with the Skull Clamp. And Grave Pact, yeah, that's an issue for it. If they play green here, then we can actually get around that with a Stifle anyway. But had they played green there, they could have sacrificed their vampire and forced us to sacrifice Lazav, but we have Stifle up for that anyway. So here's hoping that we can actually get this combo down now. This Ancestral Vision, ironically, might actually hurt us if we draw into something here. One of our combo pieces that we want in the graveyard. And this is a can be played. So I don't think we actually have to. No, we do. It says can be played, but unfortunately it didn't make us play it. Alright, let's try and do this. So we go 2 mana into the Miramad Phantasm. Really trying not to mess this up. Okay, Miramad Phantasm. This will mill our library into our graveyard, because we will of course not find the Miramad Phantasm, because it's in our graveyard. So there we go. We have 0 cards in our library, as we can see here. So now we go into a land drop. We get Bloodghast out. Just have to click through all this very carefully. Then we get blue mana for the... where are we? Blue mana for Fate Stitcher. The Fate Stitcher is a zombie, so it will allow us to cast Gravecrawler. We only have 1 black mana, so we have to be careful to make sure to use that. And then we go for Dread Return onto the Lab Maniac. We sacrifice these things to get the Lab Maniac back. And then for 2 mana, we go into Deep Analysis. We have just enough life left. And there we go. So the combo that I've been babbling on about for the past couple of weeks, I've had that in there. I haven't updated the deck list because I haven't known if I wanted to keep this in or not. It's a pretty clunky combo, and I've only played it once, so I imagine I could have got that off a turn or 2 earlier than this. Luckily our opponent didn't deal so much damage that we couldn't have flashbacked the Deep Analysis there. Yeah, not sure if we could have done anything else there. Perhaps drawn off the Jace Vryn's Prodigy. Yeah, actually that wouldn't have had haste. So yeah, that's the only way to do it. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that. That was pretty clunky, but hopefully you could follow what it was that I was doing exactly there. That was Necrotic Ooze, activating Miramad Phantasm's ability, mill out our graveyard, then we play the Bloodghast off of a land drop, that's why we needed a land in hand, then Fate Stitcher, that allows us to play Gravecrawler, sack all 3 of those to the Dread Return to get back Lag Maniac, and then Laboratory Maniac lets us win off of a Deep Analysis, which forces us to draw. The only problem with this combo is that you kind of need your opponent to be tapped out or not have spot removal in hand, because as soon as we play Deep Analysis, they can kill the Lab Maniac and we lose. But that's kind of an all-out strategy anyway, so if we're not going to win off that, then we're not going to win at all, because there's no other way to get Lab Maniac out of the graveyard other than Lazav, and we likely wouldn't have the mana to replay Lazav and go for Lab Maniac anyway. So, yeah, don't know whether we'll keep it in the deck or not. I will update the deck list now, and you can all have a look at what it looks like as of now. I might rip this out, but we'll see what happens. Hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you all in the next one. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.